Reggie Fils-Aimé, the former president of Nintendo of America and COO of Nintendo of America, has weighed in on the drama that is the Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour controversy. Now, if you don't know, and let me fill you in, basically there's a demo for the Switch 2 that basically allows you to learn about all the features of the Switch 2, obviously the mouse controls, the buttons, how to basically take advantage of and enjoy the Switch 2 to the max. It's got a bunch of mini games that help you learn about the controls, cool little things it can do, the rumble, everything like that. And typically games like these are included for free. I mean, look at Astro's Playroom for the PS5 when the PS5 launched. It was a fun little platformer game that helped you learn about the DualSense controller, all the cool stuff, the gyroscope, the rumble, the adaptive triggers and stuff like that, and helped you learn, everything that the PS5 and DualSense could do. Well, they've made something like that for the Switch too, but Nintendo have the nerve to charge $9.99 for it. They try and justify it saying it's got a lot of replayability. There's a lot of mini games that we developed for it, and it's got a lot of depth, and that's why we want to charge $10 for it. And obviously, I think it's wrong. I think most people think it's wrong. I mean, I understand it costs money to develop it, right? But for a demo that everyone who gets a Switch 2 should have by default to help them, get to grips with the new console, charging for it just seems a little bit ridiculous, and I hope they backpedal on this. But let's see what Reggie has to say. So we know what he's saying, so let's see. The subject of price has been a huge point of controversy with the recently announced Nintendo Switch 2, with some folks claiming the console itself is too expensive, many claiming that Mario Kart World is too expensive at $80, and that Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour should be, well, free. Priced at $9.99 in the US, Welcome Tour essentially takes you through the technology present in the Switch 2 and includes multiple mini games to illustrate the advances made with the new system. And given the remarkable success of Wii Sports for the Wii, Astro's Playroom for the PS5, however, it certainly comes as a shock that Welcome Tour isn't being included as a pack-in title. One person who has now, shall we say, indirectly weighed in on the conversation is none other than Reggie Fils-Aimé, ex-president of Nintendo of America. Thanks, you've seen it before. You love him, gotta love him. He was one of the household names, basically, in the gaming industry. People loved him. He's, carried Nintendo through a lot of success, through the Wii, through the Wii U. Let's just forget the Wii U. But obviously the Switch, the original Switch as well. So what he says when he talks about the new Switch, people stand up and listen. But one interesting thing is that he was instrumental in convincing Nintendo NCL to include Wii Sports as a pack-in title for the Wii back in 2006, and to perhaps reiterate what a strong move this was. He's recently taken to X to highlight in an interview with IGN in which he explained the thought process. He says, he was obviously taken to X to post and to highlight certain parts of his interview with IGN, talking about the Wii Sports pack-in for the Wii, how instrumental that was in the Wii success, and I think Welcome Tour could have been equally as successful, right? I'll put a link to the full interview down below, but let's see what they've got to say.
You have a few Miyamoto stories, and one of the ones that stood out to me was during the debate over whether or not to pack in Wii Sports with the Wii, and Miyamoto pushed back pretty hard against that, and it was like one of the biggest points of discussion, and kind of one of the bigger wins for you.
Yeah, it's an understatement to say that Mr. Miyamoto pushed back. During the development of the Wii and the Wii Sports software, again, the goal was, we wanted this system to be attractive not only to the most active players, but to new players, and to bring them into the video gaming experience. And we saw Wii Sports as the way to be able to do that, because each of these sports made great use of the Wii Remote.
You have a few Miyamoto stories, and one of the ones that stood out to me was during the debate over whether or not to pack in Wii Sports with the Wii, and Miyamoto pushed back pretty hard against that, and it was like one of the biggest points of discussion, and kind of one of the bigger wins for you.
Yeah, it's an understatement to say that Mr. Miyamoto pushed back.
I apologize, I had that running on a loop. I was thinking about something else there.
on a subsequent visit to Kyoto and the headquarters, the team showed me software that would become We Play. So a collection of mini games, and those themselves were fun.
Just like the Welcome Tour for Switch 2.
Have the connective tissue that Wii Sports had with all of the experiences. So then I proceeded to piss Mr. Miyamoto off again by suggesting that we bundle Wii Play with the Wii Remote. And
wow.
I was not happy about that either.
And obviously, guys, this is instrumental as to what Reggie Fils-Aimé thinks about the Welcome Tour package game being sold for $10. Obviously, he's trying to highlight here in these clips the fact that it was a roaring success, right? If some would say that it's a reason why a lot of people went out and purchased a Wii, because it was bundled with Wii Sports from the get-go, right? You were able to start jumping in, exercising and stuff like that. There was a lot of people that weren't into games, weren't into video games, let alone like something from Nintendo. Grandmas even going out and buying a Nintendo Wii to exercise, to play with Wii Sports. I remember the exercise board. Remember the little board you could buy separately and stand on, and it would like weigh you and tell you about your body composition and everything like that. And it was tied into the whole exercise thing. A lot of people that just had no interest in games whatsoever would buy it as an exercise device, and I think that was fantastic. And I think it was obviously a clear win for Reggie Fils-Aimé to have that bundled in. I know Miyamoto didn't want it; he fought against it, but it turned out to be one of the defining features of the Wii back then. And let's see what he has to say. He's hammering this home right now, and he went as far, as we saw, to highlight this on X as to why he thought that was a good idea then, and why it might be a mistake that Nintendo are doing this now.
In the Americas and in Europe, Wii Sports was packed in with the Wii proposition. It was not in Japan, which created a bit of a test market. And, it was obvious that in the markets where Wii Sports was packed in, that Wii became much more of a phenomenon. Wii Sports itself became much more of a phenomenon. And we did pack the remote with Wii Play, and I think it became the fifth best-selling piece of software in the history of Wii. And
here we have the Welcome Tour for Switch 2, not being packed in the US market, and they're charging $10 for it. This is clearly what Reggie's hinting at here. And the fact, like I said, he went over to Twitter and X to hammer that point home, just shows what he thinks of the situation. Crystal Laser says, haha guys, I think Reggie's watching our comments about the Switch 2. Reggie, would love your opinion on the Switch 2 controversies thus far. Pricing, buy a Switch 1 if you can't afford it, etc, etc. How would you have navigated them? Doug Bowser, like Nintendo, I don't think Reggie Fils-Aimé would have said, with him being such a phenomenon himself in the Nintendo gaming community, would have said, oh, you can't afford the Switch 2. Well, tough luck. We do have other Nintendo products you can buy, like the Switch 1. You can go on eBay and buy a used one if you want. One with a dodgy Joy-Con. There's options for you. If you can't buy a Switch 2, oh well. I could never in a million years see Reggie saying that, right? He's got a little bit more tastefulness in the way he communicates with the community. And here we go. Jason also says 3DS had a lot of software packed in to add value to its high launch price. The Mario Kart World Bundle, I don't think it's comparable to Wii Sports. If that's what's being compared here, it's a more expensive option that exists alongside the standalone console. Now we're talking about the Welcome Tour, Jason. Should have packed in localized Mother 3. Wii Sports is the game I played a lot in physical therapy as a kid to help me get exercise. Wii Sports helped a lot of disabled people to get their exercise in, and it was great. The impact of the Wii is a huge physical activity. Wii is huge for physical activity for disabled people. Thank you. Reggie's seeing the Switch 2 discourse. Nice profile picture. They need you again. Reggie needs to come back. Bring back Reggie Fils-Aimé. Leave whatever company you're working for. Come back to Nintendo. Please. Just drag Doug Bowser out by his collar and replace him with Reggie, because obviously the Switch 2 would only do better if Reggie was in control of Nintendo at this point. And again, just hammer it home. Welcome Tour for the Switch 2 is going to cost $10. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you have any favorite memories with Reggie at the helm of Nintendo, in America at least? And favorite memories you have with the old Nintendo consoles? Do you think it's right that Nintendo should be charging $10 for the Welcome Tour? Let me know down below. Hit the like, subscribe, click the bell icon. Check the links down below in the video description. And also, as I said many a time, go check out our 24-hour Nintendo Switch 2 stock tracking stream, which should hopefully, if it does its job, help you get your hands on the Switch 2 a little bit easier. Anyways, guys, I love you. I appreciate you. I'm Blaze. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Have a great Thursday and an even better Friday and an even better weekend when it comes around. Have a great day. Bye.